Atlanta, live from K.L.P studios. Ever wonder what went down behind the scenes of our top stories?
Say what?
Then tune into What Had Happened Was, the only radio station that takes you straight to the source. From coast to coast, tune in now as we dive deep into the stories, the drama, and the moments that shape the culture with
The Swanky One, new K.L.P.
and
With your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
live, Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio stations, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Like when you get ready to perform. Tiki talkie.
I do some tongue twisters, or I go or either.
Does it help?
Yeah, like stretching your neck muscle, hold it, and let it loose. Hold it, let it loose. Mew.
Is that what you do? Is that what you do when you get ready to act in your characters in your roles?
That's why I love it when I'm on like tour or something, and we got our own like little dress. I don't mind sharing dressing room with anybody, but just know you're gonna see me doing some warm ups. But when I'm in my own, like, you know, or I do the tongue twisters. She sells seashells by the seashore.
Ah, okay.
Like,
I see people do that a lot.
How much wood can what you cut your wood, like trying to like get your words out. Cause I tell you, my little low country twang, in my mind, because of where I'm from, we don't be enunciating like that and stuff. So whenever I'm doing public speaking, I have to remember to enunciate and slow down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So me doing warm up sometimes, get my tongue and stuff ready, because I be getting tongue tied. Some words I just don't be saying fully and correctly, because I use my natural dialect a lot more, or AAVE, you know. So
it's me for fillers, because my mama, let me tell you, she got the fillers like real deep. Okay. Like the ums and likes real deep. So I'm trying to teach her, Mom, in these meetings, stop doing that. And it's hard, because you got to take I took a public speaking class, and it just I hate the ums that I do.
And I know that too from public speaking. And matter of fact, when I go back and watch our episode, a lot of times that's my challenge for when we record again. I say, girl, you don't say about, or right?
Yeah,
like
those fillers. I can't stand it.
Evelyn,
but
you know better than that. Don't do that. But the thing is, when we're sitting here talking in front of the camera, it just seems so natural. Like we
natural,
just chilling.
yeah.
So like I'm much more laid back. You know, like as if we just randomly shoot the breeze, because this is so natural for us.
It is.
But I have to remind myself that I go back and watch. I was like, girl, you said too many.
There's so many ums, too many
right,
ums.
and you know,
for real.
Like,
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Boys and girls. Chill.
Hey.
What had happened was, what had happened was,
yeah, buddy.
What had happened was,
Woo! Yeah. It's your girl, Evelyn Letitia, on your microphone.
And it's your boy, K.L.P.
what
Swinging.
had happened was,
And you are exclusively tuned in to one of the number one podcasts
Number one.
in your ear. Woo! What it called?
what had
Ladies
happened
and
was,
gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the podcast here today. And you don't have to adjust your screens, ladies and gentlemen. It is true. What? We got another episode the day after the other episode? Period. Welcome back to the gracious show, the extraordinary show, back from vacation, but we getting ready to go back on vacation. Yeah. What had happened was podcast. I am your gracious, highly favored podcast host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas, and to my right, the spectacular, the awesomeness. She's gonna talk about it later, because I've seen it. She showed me some videos. The actress, Evelyn Letitia to my right. Okay.
I had to add that.
Yeah, that's new. I like that. That might be your exclusive button.
Look.
I like that. Hey, that might be mine. I like the.
Yeah, look. I like
that.
That made me feel magical.
Yeah. Man, we should have did it last episode.
From now on, that's gonna be my theme.
That's your thing.
When I jump out the shower and I feel minty fresh, and I don't use my Dr. Bronner's, my peppermint. That's gonna be me putting my towel on. Yeah.
I feel pretty, so pretty. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. So, like I mentioned in the intro, yes, we have another episode the following day, next week. The 21st through the 28th, K.L.P. Entertainment will be closing down for the week, Evelyn, not forever. I'm going to vacation, go to Punta Cana, so the offices will be closed next week. So that's why we had to double up on y'all, And it's been a minute since we did the pod, right? Mm-hmm. So we wanted to double up so that way you guys can get more of us this week, and to kind of double up because there will not be a new episode next week, right? So very, very happy to do this thing. We've got some new toys, bells, and whistles, new camera angles, right? We've got our standard cameras, but we added a camera here. Thankful for Rode and ProMed Consulting as our biggest partner for just helping us grow our studio to what it is today, and our podcast to what it is today. But before we get to the ideas and the topics of conversations here today, we like to do what we call checking in on each other.
Yeah.
So Emily, you first. How you been since yesterday?
Well, since yesterday, I've been feeling great.
Oh, that is your
I'm about to run that out, ain't it? But no, I've been feeling good. Recently had a second premiere.
Hey.
Another sold out theater event for Born Again Baddie. Born Again Baddie, Third Day Films, out of Charlotte, North Carolina. It was an amazing thing to see myself on screen again, on the big screen in a movie theater twice in 1 year, just at the top of the year here. I just sat in awe. And this was a completely different role than the one I did for the premiere that was in March and April. That film was called Bloodlines. I played a mom in that who was going through some domestic violence type situation. And then in this one, I actually was an inmate, and I got to have I had all these tattoos. I had to put on my grill. I didn't get my locks retwisted for months. So I was just I had it all loud, and I was real, so what's up, baby? I
saw a glimpse because you showed me, and you look like you got more game than me.
very different character.
Yeah, so I love it though.
Had people in the theater really laughing, and go, ooh, girl, who that? Girl. And the thing is, at the premiere, I got on heels and a nice little purple bodysuit and everything. And people that was you? Mm-hmm. I was yeah, she cleaned up, don't she? Let me tell you something. When I be acting, I'll be in my bag. I'm going to give you the character. I'm going to let you see the character. Let me see if I can get a picture.
Get a picture here.
I got to get y'all to see what she had on. Yeah. Okay. Where my camera at? Let me see if
you got that one and then.
Yeah. There we go. See if it'll switch over here. Come on, Kennedy. There we go.
I got you.
I don't know if the light gonna let y'all.
Gotta cut it.
But child, hold on. Let me take the. I don't think I can take the brightness down some, but I gotta let y'all see how I was looking, cause she was body looking like milk, and this purple. I was looking like royal, like a royal Barn. What's his name? Barney. I'm about to call him Bobby. A royal Barney. But we had a talk back after that one, and. Good. It was great just to be around the cast and crew again. We had such fun filming that. And we went through some trials and tribulation, which we talked about in the talk back. When we initially filmed it, it was supposed to be I think a 12, 14-day shoot. And they were had maybe somewhere between 3 and 5 days left of filming. I had already filmed my 2 days.
Oh wow!
And they had 3 to 5 filming days left, and something happened to the hard drives where they were corrupted.
Oh, I had that happen before. That is the worst nightmare.
Everything they filmed was deleted.
No, that is a nightmare.
And for those of you who are in the film industry, you already know how bad it is. For those of you who are not, you got to take into account the amount of money you have to put into, or whether you got sponsors or not, but money into getting locations, crafty to feed people and food, and paying your crew, paying your talent, any vehicles you may need to rent, prop stuff. There's a lot of money that goes into that, your budget.
Yes,
right?
it does.
So to lose everything and have to start back from scratch.
Ooh.
Wow. And also you have to now be able to try to get back all your cast and all your crew and hope everybody's schedules can sync up again in the time that you need. So, we got some pushback from that, because you can easily be defeated,
right,
if that happens. But thank God, Third Day is a group of filmmakers. One, they have great faith. They work very well together, and we were able to start back from scratch and reshoot.
Try doing that. If my animated movie that came out last year, The Photographer, the hard drive got corrupted, and it was animation. Yeah. So I had to reanimate. I told my cast members, like, "Hey, you got to revoice. I'm sorry." Yeah.
But it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's a learning opportunity as well. Any filmmakers, if you are filming anything, it's always good to have at least 4 hard drives.
Yes.
One on like a computer main thing, maybe 3 other external ones, and every time you upload a card, save them on each one. So you got the most up to date. But they tried everything they could to get it back, and they just couldn't. I think they paid agency to try to really get it, but they could not get it.
And I say that to a lot of people too. Be careful about going to these agency or people that work in tech, because I think a lot of people. I mean, this is just based on my experience. I went to a guy who said he could uncorrupt this hard drive, and he couldn't do it. Right. So I went to another person. They said they couldn't do it. I'm like, so you guys are just lying and saying that you can just to get the money, right? And then, of course, I got my money back. Yeah. But, you're lying to say, oh, I can do this. I give you money to try to fix it. And you don't fix it, and then you try to keep the money. Because the second guy, he told me, oh, I can fix it. I paid him and gave him a hard drive, and he didn't do anything. And I had to not threaten him, but I said, hey, I paid you for a service that you didn't do, so if you didn't do it, give me my money back. He fought me on it, and I said, well, I can take you to court. Yeah. And eventually he gave me my money back.
When you bring court up, people like, well, here, take your little funky money. It wasn't funky when you wanted to hold it.
Yeah, that's
when
what he did.
To keep it.
That's exactly what he did. That's exactly the way he said it. So I do say to a lot of people, be careful about going to these tech agencies that say they can uncorrupt stuff, because once it's corrupted, game over. Right.
So. I mean, some people can, but I would say whatever you do, make sure that you get all the services, get you itemize what they're charging you for.
Yes.
If for some reason you have to make any payments up front, whether it's a down payment or whatever, you get all that in writing with receipts. Because again, I'm not about to go back and forth with you about my money for a service that you did not complete. Because like you said, if I got to take you to court, there ain't gonna be no sweat off my back, because not only I'm gonna take you to court for what you owe me, now I'm adding extra for pain and suffering, because I should not have to be in this courtroom. We in this courtroom because of you, because you wouldn't simply just give my money back. So let's go ahead and add some additional fees on there. I am in pain and suffering because I had to take out of my day and my gas and this and that, baby.
It works.
You can get a whole Oscar moment.
It works.
Messing with me. Because I don't play about my money.
Yep.
Yeah, but we was able to get it back. Film came out amazing. Yeah. That will be going up. I know Peacock is going to be one of the distributors. I think he said around September, but I'll definitely keep you updated on all of that. So yeah.
Lit. Speaking of updates and movies, so for on the K.L.P. Entertainment side, the Lucas Brothers Pictures have passed QC a few days ago. Okay. So for a lot of people, we know what that means. Yeah. A lot of people don't. My dad didn't even know. I was like, okay, I'll tell you. It's quality control. So when you make a movie, whether it's animated or real life, you got to go through a system called QC, quality control, where you have a group of people look at your movies to make sure it's of quality for streaming services, right? Passed it with flying colors, which was great. That's really a highlight, because it's just it's hard to make sure things have to go a certain way. But that movie will be coming to streaming services. We'll announce the streaming services once we get ready to announce it. That movie is projected for, I want to say, August. That's going to be really, really awesome to do. I'm in a competition. I forgot to mention this in the last one. If you guys don't know, I'm a music artist, right? You guys, my newest album, Meet Me in Miami, came out a couple days ago. Came out Friday, when I had to go and do Battle of Atlanta. competitions there. Global Citizens Festival. I'm in the competition, to where if I win, I get an appearance on Rolling Stone. I get to perform at Global Festival, and I win a grand prize of $50,000. So I say that to say, we'll have it in the link description. Go vote for me and Swanky Aura and Swanky Records, please. There's a lot of things that I want to do with Rolling Stone cover and invest in businesses and charity for the prize money. I'm not one of those people that win the money and run. There's a lot of plans that I got for that as well. There's this one plan. It's a housing development plan that I'm thinking about. We're calling it BAM. And it stands for Barbara Ann Morris. That's my grandmother that passed away, unfortunately, in 2021. So it's really for her. So it's a lot of plans I got cooking, right? So I hope, in hopes to win in that competition, that's what we're gonna do with the prize money. So go vote. Is what I'm saying. Go vote for me, please.
You almost set me up again.
Yeah, what's up?
Cause you remember how I said, you be playing music and I be dancing. And you say, well, he died, and I'm like. Just now, you said my grandma Barbara. I surely was ready to be like, hello, Barbara, this is Shirley.
Hey.
From the old school song. Yeah. And he was like, my grandma that died. I was like,
she's with me in spirit, you know.
But I be ready to cut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're excited. So it's all things around. Everybody's in the industry. Our podcast is booming. Follow our Instagram, by the way. What had happened was Instagram. That's WHHW Radio 1, so that way you guys don't miss out on it. Now, let's talk about it. We got some things we need to talk about here today. And we're going to get a little crash course, a little down, but we'll pick it up towards the end. But we got to talk about it because that's something that has been happening within the June 14th throughout the week, and that is the No Kings protest. A lot of protesting of this sort has been happening all throughout the country. I know quite a few of my friends went to the protest, several that were here in Georgia, big one here in Atlanta. So I wanted to kind of get your take on it, E. I know it's for that. Now, let me give you a premise of what it is. Now, the No Kings protest is also internationally known as the No Dictators, No Tyrants protest, where a series of demonstrations that took place on June 14th against Donald Trump's policies in action, right? Yeah. So that's primarily what's going on around us. And there's a lot of protesting that is happening a lot. And people are going through some stuff, right? People are going through a lot of hardships. I know a couple of days ago, there was a report someone was on like a ledge on one of the major highways here and he jumped, right? I saw that, yeah. So that was kind of a scary moment. And I just wanted to kind of pick your brain about, you know, the protests and what it means, what's next for that movement, what's next for the protests around America.
Well, I want to read something from Rolling Stone. They actually talked about that in an article that was released by Tim Dickinson on June 18th. It says, what's next for the No Kings movement? New protests against Trump are on the calendar, plus a quest to train 1 million organizers. So it goes to read, the No Kings protest was historic. Millions of American activists turned out to protest President Donald Trump's authoritarian impulses on his birthday, which was Saturday, June 14th, when the president threw himself a massively expensive, poorly attended military parade in Washington, D.C., replete with tanks and helicopters. The parade was ostensibly also a celebration of the 250th anniversary of the Army. With more than 2,000 protests from big cities to small towns and red states and blue states, No Kings created one of the largest mass demonstrations in modern memory. Organizers pegged the turnout at 5 million. Independent observers said it could have been as high as 7 million. It was, in any case, millions more than the number of people who showed up for Trump's sad tin-pot spectacle. No Kings organizers held a call Monday night to celebrate the achievement, as well as to announce the next steps for building popular pro-democracy movements, including mass protests, leadership trainings, and consumer boycotts. Those next steps include a new national protest dubbed Good Trouble Lives On. The protest is scheduled for July 17th and honors 1 year since the passing of civil rights icon and Congressman John Lewis, who called on Americans fighting for justice to create good trouble in the name of redeeming the soul of America. The rallying cry for the march is March in Peace, Act in Power. The protest already has dozens of planned demonstrations. The other action announced on the call is called 1 Million Rising, organized by Indivisible. The progressive grassroots Huguenot that initiative seeks to harness the energy of protesters to build long-term political power. 1 Million Rising describes itself as a national effort to train 1 million people to become pro-democracy movement leaders with the skills to lead others. The initiative aims to build people power that can't be ignored and has its mission statement, 1 million trained, millions more empowered. The consumer boycotts against Elon Musk and Tesla are also snowballing. They called featured the announcement of a Musk Must Fall protest organized by Tesla takedown activists on June 28th in honor of the birthday of the billionaire Broligart, who is departed from his destructive stint in the White House and has since publicly feuded with Trump.
I've been reading that stuff too.
These protesters are now also targeting Musk's business partners, including pressuring wireless giant T-Mobile to end its partnership with Musk's satellite company Starlink. Says that the call Monday calls for turns jubilant and somber. The organizers celebrated the massive win of mobilizing millions to the streets. But they mark the tragedies as well. These included the assassinations in Minnesota, which left a Democratic former state speaker and her husband dead, unfortunately. They also mourned gun violence at a No Kings protest in Utah, where a protester was shot and killed. According to the police and news reports, a 39-year-old fashion designer was killed by a stray bullet fired by an armed protest security volunteer who was seeking to confront a man with an AR-15 assault rifle. The man has been charged with murder. So there are lots of things going on that just... It was a sight to see.
Yeah.
It says that the central message, though, was still one to uplift. Determination to build on the momentum of Saturday's happening ensures that the energy of the protest is channeled into movement building. Ezra Levin, a co-founder of Indivisible, said that millions of Americans needed to celebrate the achievement of turning out in defiance of Trump's ridiculous, authoritarian, theatrical, shambolic event. He insisted Trump's authoritarian parade was worse than ridiculous. It was dangerous. This is the kind of thing you expect to see in North Korea and in China, not in the United States of America. Levin said that protesters have shown grace under pressure and trying circumstances, adding, "I'm proud to be in this movement with y'all." Later in the call, an Indivisible colleague previewed the 1 Million Rising initiative aiming at building power that lasts. The organizer made clear that the initiative is the work of a coalition ranging from a League of Conservation Voters to the American Civil Rights Liberties Union in the upstart grassroots group 5501. The point is not to have scores and scores of activists reinventing the wheel, but to give folks an opportunity to learn leadership skills and then plug in to organizations dedicated to the issues they are most passionate about, ranging from immigration and racial justice to climate change to voting rights and democracy building. For the protest-minded, the next mass mobilization will challenge and channel the spirit of the late John Lewis in the demonstration, again called Good Trouble Lives On, as previewed on the call by Barbara Arnwine of the Transformative Justice Coalition. Organizers are launching a series of weekly host trainings beginning June 18th for activists who want to plan demonstrations in their own city or towns. Different from the April Hands Off and the June No Kings protest, this mobilization is explicitly about countering attacks on our civil and human rights by the Trump administration. They also featured a training for Maria Stephan of the Horizons Project, who spoke about the impact of consumer boycotts in eroding support of Trump's authoritarian project. Stephan highlighted the impact of protests against Elon Musk's flagship company Tesla, which she called one of the most powerful consumer boycotts in recent memory, causing Tesla's shareholder value to plummet. The company has become toxic. She also highlighted the impact of Black-led consumer boycotts of Target, which seemed to punish the company in the retreat from diversity initiatives. Stephan painted consumer activism as a powerful complement to street protests. The point, she insisted, is to change the incentives for powerful corporations and their large shareholders, often including universities and pension funds. Success, she added, looks like pulling them away from supporting authoritarian regimes and towards supporting our pro-democracy movement. I know that was a whole mouthful.
Yeah.
But that's from the Rolling Stones article. What's next in this particular movement?
I know Target has had a big hit from the pulling of the DEI programs that they had there, and a lot of people are boycotting that. A lot of people are not shopping at Target as much. I can't remember last time I shopped at Target, right?
I'm trying to remember, have I been there this year at all?
I don't think I've been there this year.
I know my last time being there was definitely before they called for the protest.
Because they sell like good workout clothes that I would buy, but that was like 2 years ago when I was in there. Mainly it's just Amazon or Amazon if you need to order and it's quick and it's cheaper, or maybe Walmart. I know Walmart's been on the cuffs of it too. Some people are trying to boycott Walmart as well. But I know Target has had a hit on there. Tesla has been having a hit.
Now I do miss my popcorn. That's the only reason I really went to Target to get that popcorn, that fresh popcorn.
Yeah. And years ago, go in there for Starbucks, but I don't go in there because I've got other political reasons not to go there as much, and then I've got friends that don't,
I don't know what it is about the popcorn, but it's in a little stripe box. It just reminds me, and it tastes exactly like when my dad used to take me and my little sister to the circus when we was kids. It tastes just like that circus popcorn. Yeah. And it's in the striped box with the red and white stripes. Yeah. It reminds me of the circus. But I used to go in there, I'm like, give me 2 boxes, please.
I like Christmas popcorn. The caramel, the cheddar, and then
let me say this. When we was kids, we used to get the bin that had the different ones. And the caramel, that's the one, or you said caramel. Yeah. The caramel, that's what I said. People pronounce it different, but the caramel one was never a hit for me. But now that I'm older, I guess my taste buds have changed because I love popcorn sometimes when it has that sweet salty mix. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this good.
If you mix the cheddar and the how you say caramel?
I say caramel. But
caramel.
Some people say caramel too, but I say caramel.
Caramel and cheddar cheese. Oh, unhealthy, not healthy for y'all, but it's really really good. I love it. But yeah, Tesla's been taking a hit on that. I mean, I've never been a Tesla person. Like, my car is an EV, and I drive next to a Tesla. I'm like, oh, you think well, this is EV, and this is a Beamer, so hey, it look better than yours, So I've never really been a Tesla person. I get why people are. Yeah. It's just I'm not gonna never get a Tesla because of who runs it, and that feud between him and Trump. It's been kind of funny to watch, but it's like, well, I knew this was coming.
It's like we saw that coming.
We knew this was coming.
Now this is what we waiting on, though. Elon, go ahead and tell us some secrets about how y'all rigged that election. Tell us that. Tell us about also, because that's the thing. If you notice, even though there's a public feud going on, I think Trump is really towing the line on what he's saying. Because I think Elon holds a lot of secrets, including a lot of stuff that happened around the election. So it's like you got to toe the line a little bit. Plus, Trump financially is nowhere near the financial level that Elon is on. Yeah. So you got to kind of toe the line a little bit. I think Elon better just realize that even though you got all this money, you are still not a natural-born citizen for here in the U.S. And Trump has a whole lot of followers, cultish followers, that wouldn't mind running you out the country for him, even if he couldn't do it himself. With Tesla, I don't order Tesla. The Cybertrucks and everything, I think they look crazy stupid. Yeah. That's just me. I don't like them. If you like it, I love it for you. Yeah. But not for me. Because they was buying them up when they first came out, I said, oh, this might be some good stock to get. Yeah. So I did get some stock in Tesla. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't like a whole lot of stock though. Like I think I paid. It was like pennies on how much I paid. Yeah. But if it's down now, it ain't like I lost a whole lot. I probably lost like $5. $5. It wasn't a whole lot. Yeah. I bought into it at a certain price because it's low. In the event that it did keep going up, I may invest more. But right now, it's down. I don't mind losing a little bit of money.
It's down.
It ain't like I put hundreds of thousands into it. So yeah.
When it comes down to the protests, I completely understand it. I will say to a lot of people that go to these protests, even if it's a peaceful protest, do be careful. Unfortunately, we can't resort to a protest without a little violence, unfortunately. So I do say to a lot of people, I was reading more about it on Father's Day specifically because, you know, a lot of people will say, are you going to protest or are you taking your dad out for Father's Day? I obviously opted in to take my dad out for lunch for Father's Day. We were talking about it, and it's like, you got to be careful, right? It goes both ways. It is our fight, but it's not our fight, right? Because my dad said, oh, it's not our fight. It is, but it's not, right? You just got to be careful because weapons do come out. I did see one thing on Facebook and TikTok. There was this officer. I forgot what county it was in. This officer did a press conference, and he said, hey, if you come at us with weapons, we will shoot you. We will kill you, right? And that has to be nerve-wracking because cops, you know, we all know how cops work, right? Some cops work. So I say to a lot of people, because a lot of my friends, I saw they're posting on Instagram and social media that they're protesting for sure. I know some of my friends posted on Instagram for the intention, right? Some celebrities might do that for, hey, I'm posting on Instagram, so that way it makes me look good on social media. But some people are really doing it for a great, great cause. So to a lot of people out there, please do be careful because it is dangerous, these protests. And I do say this too, and we'll move on. You got to kind of buck and weave your way through this thing we call life right now, right? A lot of people, you got to keep your head down and just kind of fight through it because we've got a couple more years of this. So it's going to be, it's going to be a little tough.
Even though the presidency is for 4 years, there's something in my spirit. I don't know what it means, but there's something in my spirit that does not see him making the whole 4 years. Now, when I say that, I don't want people to automatically think, oh, I'm talking about someone that's going to try another assassination attempt, which is not unfounded. They already tried twice, so ain't like they won't try again. But he's also not a young man. He also is not in the greatest of shape, no matter how much he tells y'all, I don't know, something in me internally just doesn't feel like, he's going to make it all 4 years, whether he was to get impeached or thrown out of office, whether it's a health issue, whether somebody tries assassination again and it actually happens, I don't know. But there's just something in me that feels that, and I can't shake it. But I just be like, what is that?
Yeah. That gut feeling.
Yeah, and this whole, like you said, this public feud with him and Elon, you don't know how that's going to blow up. And now other things going on around the world, like Iran and
that is
Iraq. Not Iran and
Israel and ooh, guys, don't quote us. I think it's
threats of World War III is what we're trying to say.
That's
And the thing is, people say, well, those countries are feuding. What they got to do with us? The way World War involves us, if that happens, is there are lots of treaties and different allyships and things that if our allies go to war, we are obligated by our treaties and our that we have to go with them and support. Ain't no different than if somebody would start attacking us all of a sudden, we had to go to war, our allies would come to our defense. Yeah. So that's how we would get involved. Even if we're not the countries right now, like shooting missiles back and forth and stuff like that. And then some of these countries actually have nuclear weapons. So, of course, if they go to war, we got to get involved because,
Iran tweeted, everybody will feel it. And I saw it on TikTok because everybody's making, memes and funny about it. And he was like, what do you mean everybody? Yeah. We got nothing to do. We, the people, didn't, so it is crazy, crazy scary out here in this crazy world that we live in.
Yeah, Israel and Iran.
Okay, Israel and Iran. Look, like I say, guys, buck and weave. Keep your head down. Survivor of the fittest. Because it's real out here, ladies and gentlemen. So, speaking of what's real, we didn't forget about what today was. We were getting to it, y'all. Y'all thought we were going to skip over Juneteenth Day?
Would never.
Never, ever, ever.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, to our peeps, happy Juneteenth Day.
Happy Juneteenth.
It is a holiday for us, by us,
And it's only been a federal holiday, within the last, 6 or 7 years.
6 or 7 years,
Even though it's been celebrated much longer. Mm-hmm. And, now when I go back and watch certain television shows and things like that, I see them celebrating. I'm like, oh, why didn't I never paid attention to that when I was a kid watching that show. Like, I think it's mentioned on the Cosby Show at one point. What was it? Was it mentioned on Living Single? It's like certain shows, black shows growing up, it was mentioned, and I only picked up on it as an adult watching the reruns. Like, I never picked it up, and I was like, oh, so this has been around a long time, because I remember 5 or 6 years ago when they made it a national holiday, a federal holiday. I was like, oh, that was like my first time really learning about Juneteenth. We were never taught about Juneteenth in school, ever. None of the public schooling I went through, and being in college, I never heard of Juneteenth like being discussed as a part of our history and what it was. But now, if for those of you who want to learn more, I'm a mother gonna read again.
Now you get it.
This was a lot shorter, y'all promise. Because I know y'all was like, dang.
You just reading at that point.
There's no king, but look.
We got to give y'all the context, you know?
But that's for the people who ride, and y'all on the long ride right now.
Yeah.
Listen to my voice as I read to you.
Hey.
But no, this comes directly from the National Museum of African American History and Culture, which is one of the Smithsonian museums in D.C. If you got an opportunity to go,
I want to go to D.C.
Please go. I've been there. It is amazing.
Nice. That's probably going to be my next trip.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Washington.
And also, like, it starts... I think the first 2 levels kind of start underground. Like, you take an elevator down because it's like 6 floors.
Ooh.
And the way it goes is you can take the elevator to each floor, or if you go down to the bottom floor, you walk around and you are literally walking up the floors. Ooh. But it's like ramps.
Yeah.
But you don't really. But like it starts out talking about slavery and where the first slaves brought to, and like South Carolina. Like a lot of my South Carolina low country roots are discussed on that very first floor.
Oh wow!
And so I was like reading, like it took me 2 days. Cause I'm one of these people that I go in there, I'm gonna read everything. I'm gonna look if there's something I can touch, if I can listen to something. I do all that. So like I literally did like 3 floors on one day. And I came back the next day and did 3 more floors. Oh, wow. And it's a Smithsonian, so it's free to the public. So of course, this administration has been talking about whether or not they're gonna start charging people. But I don't think they really can do that.
Yeah.
But it's been a topic of discussion. But if you ever get a chance to go to D.C., go to that Smithsonian. Again, the National Museum of African American History and Culture. This comes directly from their website about the historical legacy of Juneteenth. On Freedom's Eve, or the eve of January 1st, 1863, the first watch night services took place. On that night, enslaved and free African Americans gathered in churches and private homes all across the country, awaiting news that the Emancipation Proclamation had taken effect. At the stroke of midnight, prayers were answered as all enslaved people in Confederate states were declared legally free. Union soldiers, many of whom were black, marched onto plantations across cities in the South, reading small copies of the Emancipation Proclamation, spreading the news of freedom in Confederate states. Only through the 13th Amendment did emancipation end slavery throughout the United States. But not everyone in Confederate territory would immediately be free. Even though the Emancipation Proclamation was effective in 1863, it would not be implemented in places still under Confederate control. As a result, in the westernmost Confederate state of Texas, enslaved people would not be free until much later. Freedom finally came on June 19, 1865. So 2 years after the initial Emancipation Proclamation, when some 2,000 Union troops arrived in Galveston Bay, Texas. The Army announced that the more than 250,000 enslaved black people in the state were freed by executive decree. Keep that in mind. 2 years later, 250,000 people were still enslaved in the state of Galveston Bay, Texas. They were freed by executive decree. This day came to be known as Juneteenth by the newly freed people in Texas. The post-emancipation period known as Reconstruction, which was 1865 to 1877, marked an era of great hope, uncertainty, and struggle for the nation as a whole. Formerly enslaved, excuse me, mouth getting a little. Yeah. That little country trying to creep in, y'all trying to creep. I told y'all. Okay, formerly enslaved people immediately sought to unify their families, establish schools, run for political office, push radical legislation, and even sue slaveholders for compensation. Given the 200 plus years of enslavement, such changes were nothing short of amazing. Not even a generation out of slavery, African Americans were inspired and empowered to transform their lives in their country. Now, a lot of times in present day, when you hear people say "Make America Great Again," and other people say, "Well, when was America great for Black people?" For those brothers and sisters who asked that question, this Reconstruction period was a great period for Black people. Why? Because newly freed slaves, they held all the power when it came to skill set. Think about it. On the plantation, who was the one growing and harvesting all the food? Who was making all the clothes? Who were the blacksmiths? So you talk about opening up businesses. They were thriving now as free people because they can open up their own blacksmith shops. They can open up their own clothing shops. They were, doing it. Of course, you have things like sharecropping and start other ways that we're trying to re-enslave them in a more legal way. But this was a time where Black people were really flourishing because they held the skill set. So they were able to build their own schools and their own businesses and things like that. Now, given the 200 plus years of enslavement, African Americans were inspired and empowered. Juneteenth marks our country's second Independence Day. Although it has long been celebrated in the African American community, this monumental event remains largely unknown to most Americans. This historical legacy of Juneteenth shows the value of never giving up hope in uncertain times. The National Museum of African American History and Culture is a community space where the spirit of this hope lives on. A place where historical events like Juneteenth are shared and new stories with equal urgency are told. Amazing legacy of Juneteenth. I'm just glad that now, people outwardly know more about it and can celebrate it.
Yes.
Do you have any plans specifically how to celebrate?
So not yet.
Well, look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
Podcasting this show. No, but I think what I'm going to do is, I can't not go to the gym, right? But probably get that nice little push in, but probably gonna treat myself something scrumptious to eat, right? That's just the best way to celebrate a great holiday, and probably watch a movie.
Okay.
Whatever movie that's out, that's kind of like, Black and Power, that's what I would watch for sure. Or music, because the thing with me is music.
Okay.
That's primarily my plan for the actual day. But it is a special day for a lot of people. Maybe I'll reach out to my siblings and see if they wanted to do something, or my mom or whoever, to go out to eat or something, because it is a celebration. And when I say, oh, it's for us, by us, right? FUBU, right? Shout out to David John them. But I do really mean that, right? And I don't mean this in a cynical way. I don't mean that, white people don't really need to pay attention to this. This is not really their holiday. I don't mean to sound mean about it, but folks have to understand we have to have something of ours that we can just hold on to for us, our skin complexion, right?
Well, it's not even that. It's like when I've heard white people say, well, why do y'all need to have a federal holiday for Juneteenth? Well, you're celebrating July 4th.
Yes.
On the day that you celebrate independence, we were still enslaved.
Yes.
Like
or
fact
is this,
that y'all don't
we give
get
you guys
that,
a whole month in February.
That's the craziest one, because you can't go a day without touching something that was invented by a Black inventor.
Yeah.
You can't go a day without, but yet, because they chose to give us just 1 month in February to recognize us. I've recognized Black history throughout the whole year, but because this country gave us 1 month, people lose their mind in that 1 month. Why y'all gotta have a Black History Month? But this is the same thing, like, for you not to understand that Juneteenth, again, I made emphasis that it was 2 years later, 250,000 enslaved people were still on a plantation, did not know they were free.
Yeah. And I think there was a movie about it, and they didn't want enslaved to know that they were free, right? They were trying to keep it quiet. I forgot what movie it was, but that was like the premise of the movie. The message was not getting out. I'm blanking out on what movie I saw.
There's a movie, it has Keke Palmer in it.
Okay.
And I think that may be one, because that movie actually was even more recent. I think in the 1970s, there was a Black family that was still working on a plantation And it was so secluded.
Yeah.
Away from all of... They thought they were still in a slavery period until the young lady decided to run away. And she runs into like a highway or something where it's like all the stuff.
Yeah.
And Keke Palmer was in there. I'm trying to find what the name of that movie was. There it is. Alice.
Alice. Okay.
That's what it's like.
Yep.
A slave in antebellum South escapes her secluded plantation only to discover a shocking reality that lies beyond the tree line. And that's based on a true story. Thinking they were still enslaved because they were so secluded deep in the
I need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
That looked good based on the IMDb page. But like I say, Juneteenth, it is a holiday. I encourage people, if you want to go out to eat or celebrate this, because it's not just, it's Juneteenth. It's something to celebrate. I hate it when the stores, they say, get your Juneteenth sale, And then they do the African, the colors, the yellow, red, and green. Apple do it too. They know what they doing. And it's just like, no, we don't need to buy anything. We just want to go celebrate what the meaning behind Juneteenth is, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of people now probably they're understanding that now, that it's not just about what you can buy on Juneteenth sale day. It's how are you celebrating, right? And that's the most thing that's really, really important. And like I say, it's becoming big.
Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I've told you, I've been grinding. I've been on the chat. I've been all over the place. I said Juneteenth was the only day I absolutely had nothing. I didn't have to be at the theater. I didn't have to be on nobody's set. I didn't go in the nursing home. I said, I have nothing. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm about to sleep in, and I'm going to sleep so deeply.
Yeah.
I'm going to be with my ancestors, just knocked out, dead to the world, talking to my ancestors in my dream. Because, baby, I need this rest. I said, don't call me. Don't text me. Let me be off the face of the earth. There's only one person. Because I had already previously set up, like, we're going to be on FaceTime because we need to discuss a film that we're going to be working on together. But other than that, like, don't call me about nothing.
I remember when I worked at, and I can say it because I'm not for them anymore. I worked for Emory, and it was getting ready for Juneteenth, and we worked during the summer, right? We didn't shut down for class. We were in a different department. I said to my manager at the time, I said, hey, Juneteenth's coming up, and they haven't announced the school closing and we get paid holiday. And they ain't say nothing like, what's up with that? And then my manager's like, yeah, we don't know anything.
Well, it's a federal holiday, baby. You better find something out.
And he was a good guy to work for.
Yeah.
White. I was like, that's federal holiday, right? And if we don't get that, I can riot for that, right? I might lose my job, but hey, this is a federal holiday. This is my holiday. This is my religion. I need this day off regardless. So I don't know if they try to keep it quiet and say no, but then about 2 days before, it's like, yeah, and by the way, we're going to be closed. You're going to get paid holiday leave for Juneteenth. They're like, oh, yeah, you damn right I am.
Oh,
that's not a requirement. That's not an ask. That's a requirement.
They wouldn't have to tell me nothing because I was going to be on PTO. Prepare the others. Prepare the others because I ain't coming in.
I prepare the others. I like that.
That was on a TikTok. I actually did I did the voiceover thing with it. Like, but there's a guy that was on TikTok. He was like, PTO, prepare the others. I did a whole like little reel from his voiceover thing. Oh, wow. But yeah, I'm like, it's a national holiday. And then if you try to fire me because I didn't come in.
That's a lawsuit, actually.
It is a very, wrongful termination because you fired me off of a holiday that was federally recognized that you weren't going to get me off. So I didn't come in. Baby, distress. Oh my God.
Because I would do that too.
So distressed.
I would do that too. I would so do that too.
Look, I love you, man. Yeah. That would have been me. Yeah. Baby, I was so heartbroken that they didn't give me my day off.
I couldn't see my gam on Juneteenth because I had to work.
My family all gathered and I couldn't be there because you didn't give me my federally recognized holiday.
Religious holiday. Yeah.
I feel so threatened. Like I can't come to work now because now I feel like you're gonna retaliate every time I come in. Oh, baby,
the actress.
Suffering. Baby,
actress,
suffering.
Man. She's good. She's good.
Let me quick, cause I know somebody dusty son looking at this right now. Like, see, hey, that's why you can't date them actresses, cause you never know when they're for real. Like, child.
Speaking of dating. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Now, a couple of podcast episodes back on my other show, K.L.P. Aftermath, I went on a banter about relationship advice and dating and trying to find some people. And it went sort of viral, semi-viral, because a lot of my friends had asked me, like, dang, Kitty, you okay?
I came across too. I'm like,
You all right? You need to console somebody? I still stand by what I mean. Because it got to me kind of again today, not today, but on Father's Day, obviously, I'm with my dad and, we're celebrating, we're eating, and, we were talking, catching each other up and about dating and stuff. And, I told my dad, like, hey, I just don't think I want to date right now. Because they ask me all the time, hey, you got a girlfriend? Hey, you got a girlfriend? My parents always ask, and I keep hitting this mic. This mic is
on the table, too.
Yes.
There you go.
Thank you.
I'm here to keep him together, y'all.
Keep me together. And the thing is, my parents, shout out to them because they're avid listeners too.
Yes, they are.
They always ask me, and they joke around other people. They say this, and they're like, yeah, I'm just waiting on some grandkids. I'm waiting for some grandkids. I'm waiting for some grandkids.
Well, you ain't the only one, though. You got other siblings.
Yes. But
you feel the pressure most?
Well, I mean, I think we all feel the pressure equally because they when they talk to other people, they joke about that same kind of stuff. And I joke with my sister, the one that got married, right? I think she's going to be the first one. She's the first one married, right? So, of course, she's going to be the first one.
All right. Life might show you something different.
Life might show me something different. But I went on the banter simply because, and I want to get your take on this too, because I think in our generation, we suck at this dating thing or getting to know people.
Sorry, my mind went real dirty. My mind went real dirty just now. You said we suck. I'm like,
suck in this generation.
What are we talking about? Okay, I'm listening.
I've had it to where I had one girl we used to work with. Okay. Right? We used to, we worked together, we talked together. At work, we would flirt, but it was not like unprofessionally, like at the workplace, but we would flirt, right? Okay. Then we got each other's number. We started texting each other. Then when I left that job to pursue my big career that we're doing now, hallelujah, I'm glad I did that. Hallelujah. We text and I said, hey, I think I like you. You seem pretty cool. She's a little bit older than me. So like, hey, let's see what's this thing about.
Older women sometimes give you a little.
They do. But then again, I invited her to the gym. Okay. Big contender for me is the gym, right? I'm not saying you got to do extreme workout like I've been doing and be a bodybuilder. That's not what I'm saying. No. Just caring about your fitness. And even if you're doing the light exercises, that's fine. Just come to the gym with me. It's a whole vibe. I like it. I did something that's part of me now. You gotta like that too to date me, right? Invited to the gym. She enjoyed it. It was great. Kept trying to take her out to dinner. No, she's busy. Ask her again, she's ghosting me for 3 weeks. Ask her again, she ghosted me for another 2 weeks. And I said, no, I don't think you're the one because you ghosted me a lot. I don't like that, right? Moved on to another girl. Got to know her. Quiet. Conversations are a little boring, right? We had a conversation, we talked about this show called Forever. Yeah, on Netflix. Good show, by the way.
I binged that.
It's good.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We went to dinner. Took her to PF Change, right? Because we were going to go to Cheesecake, but we ended up going to PF Change. Ladies, there's nothing wrong by going to Cheesecake Factory, by the way. Scrumptious restaurant. Food is food, right? Good date. We got to talking, and that was it. Mm-hmm. Done. So I went on that banter to say, our generation sucks because it's like, I am tired of, number one, trying to chase, right? I don't understand why some women, I ain't gonna say all, right? Mm-hmm. Some women get upset when we don't want to be the chasers anymore, right? We're just tired. We're done. We're over it. We want to be chased. And then it comes into, okay, you being sassy, right?
I can't. Okay, go ahead.
Why we got to be called sassy? Because we got tired of chasing and it leads us nowhere.
I've said that on many, I think several of our podcasts before, that I can't stand when men express themselves.
Yes.
That women, or sometimes other men, would call them sassy or emotional. I'm like, they're human.
We have feelings.
I don't want a robot. Like, if a man can express himself and you every time he says what he feels or what he likes or doesn't like or sets boundaries, you all of a sudden try to attack his sexuality, whether he is straight, bisexual, gay, or whatever. Like your go-to is to say, "Oh, you sassy, you acting." To attack somebody's sexuality, I think is lame.
You acting like a woman.
I need you to be a man, lame for
right?
That. Right? Yeah.
I hear that a lot because I've told plenty of girls that I was trying to pursue that I do have feelings and I'm gonna tell you if I don't like something, right? And I would tell girls and no longer talking to them. I say, hey, that hurt my feelings when you did this, and I've been told you acting like a woman. I need you to be a man. I'm like, wow, I don't think I like you, and then I just leave. Yeah. And I've gotten so much into those type of scenarios to where when I went on that banter on the podcast, my other show, I said, hey, I think I'm done because it leads me nowhere. It's that, and then it's always picking up the check. And I get it. My parents, especially my dad, tells me, hey, when you take a young lady out, you're supposed to open the door, hold the door, pay for the check. I get it. But how many times do I have to keep doing that until I get something in return? It's not necessarily a little whoop-hoo or a little, you like that, didn't you? Or a little, I would love a second date. I would love to get to know you more. Let's go on more less expensive dates to see how you feel as long as you're there for me, not for my money, right? Yeah. And it gives me nowhere. And that's why I went on the banter and I said, hey, I think I'm done. Yeah. I go to the gym and do me.
It's easy, and when people try to compare this generation into yesteryear's generation, there's never going to be an equal comparison. Because people will say, oh, this generation, y'all want to date multiple people. It's because people have more options and easier access to a lot of people at one time. A lot of older generation could marry or be with their high school sweetheart for 60, 30 years because y'all lived in the same small town and only had access to about 10 other people, and those people were already with somebody else. And so you didn't have like a social media where you can be chatting with somebody, you in California and somebody over in New York, right? Mm-hmm. So the generations are very different. Technology has separated the way that we date. Distance, the way we can travel, all that has separated us. So let's start there from one. I don't want anybody to watch this and try to compare the different generations of how we date. What I will say about today's generation that I think harms a lot of people and make people discouraged from wanting to date is a lot of people don't reciprocate what it is that they want out of someone, right? People want somebody to, like you said, chase them, be this, be that for me. You got to do this, got to do that. But then you ain't even doing half that. Mm-hmm. You ain't even trying to reciprocate. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, because of technology and stuff, do not even know how to properly communicate with people. There are people where they could text all day long and it sounds like you're having a great conversation back and forth with text. Then you sit together, like you said, boring conversation. Boring. Can't hold a conversation if it was a 10-gallon bucket. Just dull as a doorknob. Ain't nothing. Right? It's like all these things are taken away from human interaction. Like, there's so many roadblocks to that, and I get why you're frustrated. I truly get it. And I also get when you said how many dates you got to pay for if I get something. I automatically knew you weren't talking about sex. Even though I know some people are going to think that, or some men actually think that because I pay for your meal, you got to put out. What I took from that, and knowing you, I took from that is, okay, I pay for your meal. You just use me just to get a meal, and I don't hear from you again. Yeah, because that was the second girl. And you want to get more interaction. I would say, sometimes it may not hurt to ask once, not repeatedly, but once, like, hey, is there a reason why you're not feeling it, or did I say something or do something wrong? Because sometimes we can be our own blind spot. Yeah, I'm a very self-aware person. But there's still times where I do check in with people like, hey, what do you think about me in this capacity? Or have I ever said something that made you uncomfortable? Because I'm just being Evelyn and thinking everything's cute and good, and I may have said something like to rub somebody and didn't realize it. So I don't mind asking somebody, so what do you think if I said that about that? I hope that's making sense. Yeah, it does. Because sometimes have I ever crossed your mind? Sometimes it's just, but I wouldn't make it once I asked you and they give feedback, I wouldn't press that issue anymore. Because those who want to will. If somebody wants to be with you or date you, they put forth the effort, they will. And I went through something similar. I don't know if it's went through or still going through because I just saw this person the other night. But a few weeks back, probably about a little over a month ago now, I randomly met this guy when I was playing flag football. Like we actually our teams were playing each other that night. Ooh. And I'm always on the side. I'm talking trash in the game on the sideline. It's always like fun competitive trash talk.
I would
right?
love to see that.
But I ended up catching this ball in the end zone for our QB. I caught it with one finger, literally one fingertip, pulled it in. I stretched out I had my feet down in the very corner of the end zone, and it was in. And he was impressed with that. Oh. And so one thing, like I said, I'm talking trash and everything like that. And I say to him, he's like, I bet you won't catch no other one on like that because I'm talking trash. I'm like, hey, who wants some of Big E? Like, he's like, I bet you won't catch another one like that. I said, I bet you I'll catch another one. And I'm going to blow you a kiss afterwards to make you feel better. Ooh. Right? So that's kind of like, that's game. that's how I be talking trash, right? That's game. I love it. But he messed me up because he was like, and I'm going to catch it and put it in my pocket. And I was like,
y'all flirting.
I was like, I was stuck because I ain't used to people coming back.
Sexual chemistry.
I ain't used to people coming back like that. But I just left it alone. So after the game, we ended up losing to them by a touchdown. Whatever, right? We having our little huddle with my team, and I noticed he's over there because I was stretching and everything like that. And he was still over there. I thought he was just stretching. Once we finished with our team meeting, I get up to go walk to my car, and I noticed at that moment, he's right beside me. And so we're walking. As we get close to the car, whatever, we're just talking about the game, whatever. And then he asked about somebody had kids or something. He said, yeah, my homeboy got, like 6 or something like that. I said, 6? I said, well, how many you got? And he told me he had 2 girls and everything because he was previously man. He said, you got any kids? I said, no. I said, I'm good. Right. Right.
That's another thing with me. I'm good.
We still talking and kind of about the game and everything like that and talking about other sports. He walked me all the way to my car. It wasn't necessarily intentionally he walked to my car, but we were in the same parking lot. But he walked and I said, well, I'll holler at you the next game, whatever. And I'm getting in my car. Yeah. And my spirit said, was he feeling me? What's going on, right? And by the time I don't crank in my car and I look at my rear view, I look at my side mirror and I see him walking back to my car. And I'm trying to know. He knocks on my window, and so I said, yeah. He said, let me get your number. I said, oh, you want my number? You want mine because he's cute, he's handsome, right? And so I give it to him, and I was like, and let me tell y'all something. If you got my number, especially for dating purposes, that's already half the battle for you. Because I
wish I was in your generation.
I do not give my number out like that. Yeah, business purposes, yes. Yeah. But for dating, I don't really give my I gotta be feeling you to even because I'm quick to be like, no, thank you, I'm not interested. But I was like, he's cute. Our conversation was flowing a little bit, and then on the phone, he's talking to me, and he ends up texting me by the time I got home, whatever, and he was like, oh, by the way, your eyes are beautiful and your smile is beautiful, whatever. And I still held my lashes for that game, whatever. I said, all right, so you see next week how beautiful you think my eyes are when I come next week with no eyelashes on. He was like, oh, I see beyond that. He's like, your beauty never that, and he just gave me all these compliments and everything. I said, look, I'm going to go ahead and be straight up with you because I'm very straightforward. I'm about to waste your time on mine. I said, what is it that you're looking for? Because I am not about some random hookup, whatever.
That's good.
Could I? Absolutely. Yeah. But I just felt like going into 2025, new love was on the horizon for me. So the person I had dealt with all last year, I told him in December, I was like, hey, because he's somebody that I ain't trying to be in a relationship with. We were just intimate partners. Oh. That's all. Yeah. But we're very, very grown folks. We knew what that was. And I told him in probably around November, I said, hey, when the new year come in, this is a wrap. Because I feel like there's somebody new coming in for me, and I need to be prepared in that space. And I don't need you in this space with me, and we still being intimate and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, let me chill. Yeah, that makes sense. And so when I told him that, I said, what are you interested in? I ain't interested in just a one night stand. He's like, no, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to, when I get you, I'm going to hold on to you. He's saying all right. And I even said that night, I said, you're saying a lot of beautiful things. I said, but I pay attention to actions. And I'm going to give you a chance to match those words and actions. Ooh. Right? We talked on the phone for maybe 3 weeks. Out of those 3 weeks, Not once did we meet up for a date. Not once did we FaceTime. And I really liked him because the conversation we had was great and everything like that. I ended up seeing him at another game or whatever, and he ended up asking me one night, like, can you send me a picture? Like, a week went by, and I told him up front, I said, yeah, I'm single. I said, most time guys don't make it past 2 weeks. Because in the first 2 weeks, I'm already like, I'm good. Yeah. Because you did some stuff. And usually it's that damn picture thing. Send me a picture that ain't nobody else got. Like, and I know what type of picture you want. I'm like, no. I'm like, why do you have to rush? And I even said that to him before he even asked for a picture. I was just like, I'm trying to take things slow. Because I know how to separate emotional and physical. Yeah. And if we're going to be physical, that ain't what you just want me to treat you as. Right. You may think that until you see me on a date with somebody and you be like, hold on, but we being physical. Why she with? Because unless you trying to be here, I'm not taking myself out of the dating market. Yeah. And being on a shelf for you and you not trying to be mutually exclusive or commit. Like, no. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. He ends up asking for pictures like 2 weeks in. And I said, what kind of picture? Because, again, I'm trying to be better at not jumping to conclusions, too, when it comes. So I said, clarify, what type of picture? He was like, oh, any picture you want. So I sent him a picture like just a little something like that. Yeah. And he sends me a picture back. It wasn't bad, but he just sent a picture with, like, his shirt pulled up with his nipples. I'm like,
I was about to say, I'm scared. Here, what was that?
It was not an unsolicited pic, like, right? Oh. But still, I'm like, I don't need to see your body right now. Because I kept telling her, let's take it nice and slow.
Nice and slow.
Because this is the thing. Once I'm so, like, on a dating scene, I'm single. I'm very single on a dating scene. Yeah. But in a relationship, I am so monogamous. And what you think you were going to get from me, you get 10 times more than that in a relationship. 10 times more. But half of y'all can't be patient enough to get to know somebody. You ready to send naked pictures and videos and all this other stuff.
I don't do that.
And that's I'm just like, style. Just be patient. Because this is the thing, I'm telling you, I like you. This man also, he works good with his hands. He builds car engines, all this kind of stuff cool. that I love. Like, I love watching his stuff and things like that. But in all this time, you're not trying to take me out on no date. And mind you, I haven't even asked him for any money. I even suggested more than once, well, let's just meet up, like, go for a walk or something. Or we can meet at a coffee shop. So I just want to get to know you face to face. Oh, yeah, we're going to do that. Ain't set nothing up. And then when I brought up the thing about him send me the picture with his nipple, because that kind of turned me off. It turned me off. Yeah. And it was right before I had to come down here to do the commercial shoot that I told you I worked on. Yeah. And so it took me 2 days because I wanted to make sure I get my mind together, do my commercial shoot, then have a conversation with him about that, which I did. And I told him that, it threw me off a little bit. And I said, that coupled with the last few times we've been speaking, all you seem to want to talk about, your thighs and your curves. And I was like, it's coming across as if you just want to be physical. And I said, I'm not just looking for something just physical. Baby, I'm the most physical person you can be physical with when we get physical. I'm telling you, my Scorpio sign shines bright. Right? Yeah. But I'm like, you will never get to that point because you're showing me that you have nothing else to offer me besides that. And if I want just some good peen, I can call several.
Cool. What you call it?
Some good peen.
I call it on my side.
Look, I know who I can call if I need to call, but I ain't looking for. I'm looking for somebody that in this space with me, you can be a great support. You know how to laugh with me. You're business minded. You're goofy with me. Yeah. You like adventure with me. I'm looking for somebody who's well rounded. Like being great in the bedroom, that's a great thing I need, but I need other things beyond that. And so when I had that conversation with him. It used to be he would call me because he works like a early morning shift. So he's up at like 2 a.m. And he's at work by like 4, something like that, 3 out the door. He would call me every morning because I'm still sleeping around that time while I'm just going to bed. And it's like, good morning, Big Mama. Because I've been like, hey, Big Daddy, how you doing? Like, but it'd be something sweet, cute. Or he was like, I hope you have a beautiful... Like, it was just always that. But then after I had a conversation about the picture and what that did, and like I felt like, you're interested more physical, all of a sudden, the morning messages went away. And then 3 days, like, I called him like a day or two, and I'm talking to him, and now, whereas you used to pick up the phone and talk to me, you were excited when I called. Now all of a sudden, you act like you really don't want to talk. And I'm the type is if you give me that kind of energy, like you don't want to talk, then okay, I'm gonna fall back. Yeah. So I remember I fell back for like 3 days, didn't talk to him. Then we have another game, and I see you. You ain't called, text nothing in 3 days. Uh-oh. But now we at the game, and you come trying to be playful. You don't. I'm laying on the ground. I'm laying on the ground on my stomach because I'm out of the game right now and just trying to catch my breath. He comes and sits on my back, and he's playing around. He's being like joking. And I'm just like, and I'm looking at him like, what's up with you? Like, you acting weird, like you don't want to talk. Now here we are, and you in public. And the one thing I asked him when we were talking on the phone is, I do not want to be all that playful and stuff around these folks because I'm a very private person. Until I know we are something, I'm not trying to display all this PDA because somebody who may be interested in me might think we together, we're not. Yeah, because that happened a lot and too. You don't get to do all that with me in public, and we ain't together. Girl, you know? Because as soon as he sat on my back and said, you know what one of my teammates said once he ran off? What y'all got going on? Oh, man. No. Just like I thought. Yeah. You bring unnecessary attention that don't need to be there. Yeah. And then after that game, like, you do that, right? Right. Then, okay, I'm like, okay, so what's good? So a day went by, nothing from him. So I called her 2 days after that. I called her, and I just said straight, because I'm not trying to waste my time. Yeah. I said, hey, I just want to know, because again, now I call you and you act like you really don't want to talk or you ain't got time. Where you used to talk to me while you at work talking to customers. I'm trying to get words in and you're like, yeah, what you need back there, sir? Like, now you don't think you really want to talk on the phone. So I just straight up asked him, I said, hey, I just need to know, are you still interested in getting to know me? Like, for dating purposes. Yeah. He said, yeah, I'm still interested. I said, cool. Which meant the ball is in your court. Yeah. Had that conversation with him. That was a good 2-3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Had that conversation with him. He has not called or texted me since, right? Man. But then Monday, I just started a co-ed basketball league that I'm on. My team won, by the way, 58-40. Yes. I had some little assists in there, 7 points. You know, I had to get my basketball legs back, but I knocked down a 3 and another 2-pointer. But for our league, the girls' 3s are 4 points and the 2-pointers are 3 points. So it's high 7. Lit. But even that game, his team, he's playing and he's on a team. They play right before us. Mm-hmm. So I see you. Haven't spoken to me, text me, call me, nothing in like 3 weeks. Now we here and I'm talking to somebody and I feel this. Hey. And he keeps running. I'm like, dude, what the what? Get off me. So that's my biggest thing. I'm like, quit disturbing my peace if you don't want nothing. I made my bed. I know how men sometimes, and this is not all men, but sometimes they'll be like, well, women are complicated. They don't know what they want. I tell men exactly what it is I'm about and what I want. And they claim that they're ready for that. Mm-hmm. And they're ready to seriously date. And then it doesn't happen. You playing because now I'm not looking at you as a man that I possibly want to date, because right now you acting like my annoying little brother to me. Mind you, you're like 3 or 4 years older than me, but you acting like my annoying little brother right now. Like, you go weeks without saying anything to me, still haven't texted me like today is Thursday. This was Monday when I saw you. You haven't text, called, nothing, but when you see me, you always want to hit me and run off. We are not in elementary school. So it's frustrating, but you know what? Doesn't make me that frustrated because I have peace. Yeah, inner peace. I have peace regardless of whether I'm with somebody or while I'm not with somebody. And I also know that if it ain't working out, it's not necessarily. Sometimes it's like it's just the wrong person at the right time. And sometimes it's the right time. I mean, a right person, but y'all just time don't match up. Time don't match, yep. And then sometimes it's just. I just need to be alone. And I think I'm feeling that wave now. Is like, it's my peace and I'm okay with being alone. And I even told my parents that. And I don't know how well they took that, but I said, because they joke about the kids and stuff, I said, Mom, Dad, I'm okay with just being single right now. Like, people assume, I'm not looking into, because it's the gym for me. That's my happy space. My house is my happy space. My car is kind of my happy space too, because I just love my vehicle, right? I'm just in my own
happy space zone that to have nobody to, have that relationship with right now, I'm cool with that.
And people sometimes think that because you're single,
yeah,
that you're lonely, that you're this.
Not really.
I
got plenty of friends.
Look, I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
Some personally, but more indirectly, who are not single.
Yeah.
And feel very alone.
That is so true.
There are a lot of There are a lot of people who are alone in marriages.
Yeah.
Alone in relationships in general, and somebody's there with them all the time, and they feel alone. Mm-hmm. So being single, like for those of you who try to gaslight single people, be like, oh, you lonely, you miss people being around. I really don't.
You can't get a girlfriend.
When I tell you, me being single has nothing to do about me not being able to get a man. There's people right now, if I say yes, I'll be in a relationship in the next 2 hours. And that's only because it'll take me some time to get back home. Yeah. But like, it's not that I don't have options. It's not like people don't want me. It's like, I know what I want. I know what I need. And the people that come along saying that they understand it and they want the same thing, you're playing and wasting time. Yeah. Because I am so content by myself. I am so happy. Y'all, so happy by myself. So for me to even get in a relationship or entertain you for a relationship means I'm making space for you.
Yeah, and I ain't got the space for these generation of women in my generation. I ain't got space for y'all.
I'm making space and time for you. And that's what this dude don't even understand. Like, one, you got my number. Mm-hmm. Many people don't have it, not for dating purposes. Mm. Two, I actually said, let's meet up face to face. I haven't asked you for no money. I haven't asked you for no expensive date. I'm trying to get to know you. Because in me being in a relationship again, I'm a long-term committed girly. Like, I'm not these fly by the pants, like, so if I get in something long-term, I want to know that this person communicates well, that when we have conflict, how do you resolve that? Because every relationship, I don't care how good you think, you're going to always have some kind of disagreement. How you disagree matters. So I'm trying to really get to know you, what kind of adventure you like, And
I want to do couples really, because I see a lot of couples, even this past week, I ain't called people out because they might watch the show, but they be like, yeah, me and my boyfriend, and then I always ask, so are you really happy with you and your boyfriend? Because if you are, that's perfectly fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people do that. Oh, I got a boyfriend, or there is me and Bae on Instagram and Snapchat, we out to eat. Are you really happy in this relationship, or are you just trying to show face, right? Do you guys really communicate? Like you said, do you communicate mentally, physically, emotionally, intelligently between each other, right? Because anybody can post anything on the ground to make it look
people have social media relationships. There's the relationship they show on social media and the relationship that's behind closed doors. Yeah. Now, if you are a person who's truly authentic, both of those things should equal out. Like, they should be the same. But a lot of people put on a show for social media and catching hell behind closed doors. I will not be one of those people.
I would not be one of those people.
I went through that in my marriage, and the only reason I did that is because, like, you're trying to protect something that's supposed to be sacred, where the other person ain't even trying to protect what's supposed to be sacred. Like, but I said I won't do that again. If we ain't good behind the scenes, I'm not posting you. I'm not posting, like, no. None of that.
Got a boyfriend. That don't mean nothing. You look at the other side of the house and see it's green on that side, so you might want to just peek over just a little bit, So now, girls, I got a boyfriend, but then I see the ins and outs of it a little bit. Yeah. Like, okay.
I'm trying to have healthy relationships in my life. Too. Like, I already talked about like friendships, familiar relationships. Yeah. That includes my my relationships with significant others. I'm not trying to be in something that causes me stress and no, baby.
And if you don't have a relationship with God, that's a big turnoff for me.
I promise you, if you make it on the side, you're gonna love it over here, baby. There be times when like I be in my house because I love to dance, I love to listen to music. I be in my living room, listen to my records, dancing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this would be so like fun right now to be dancing with a significant other, right? Yeah. But I'm like, nobody won't act right long enough to get these little dance moves.
I be doing that at the gym, and trainers and people, ladies, they be looking like, you can dance with me, but I'm not gonna stop because I like this.
I'm like, no, if you act right long enough, you can be in dancing with me. But I'm just like,
bust a move with me, cut a rug.
And this person, follows me on Instagram. So, and that's another thing. You don't call or say anything or text anything, but then you'll watch my IG stories.
You know what? There is a lot of girls that I had crushes on did that same exact thing.
And some people like, well, maybe
what are you doing?
Maybe they ain't watching because sometimes I can accidentally click on somebody's IG story and then I click off. It's one thing for you to accidentally click off, or if you're watching somebody's story and then it goes to mine. But you can hit like exit out of it.
Yeah.
But if
you see a whole multitude of stories on it.
Yeah, usually my stories are at least 6 long, right?
Yeah.
So if you're watching all of them, like, why are you watching when you have my number?
That's so true.
So I'm just like, baby, the next time you see me, your chest probably gonna be tight. You see me with somebody else, because I'm not waiting around for you to decide what you want to do when I've already asked you. Because for me, it has not been about money. Haven't asked you for anything like that. It's been about time and really getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's been about. And you haven't tried to make any effort in doing those things. So it's like, but every time you see me, you and run off. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm a
so
grown. Hold on, I'm a grown woman. Okay, hey. I had to censor that, y'all.
Yeah.
What the I look like? Playing some elementary tag you're in. I like you. Let me hit you and run. Like
Jesus, that is elementary.
and he's grown too. So I'm just like, at this point, it's more annoying than funny. I don't know if he thinks it's funny or, you know.
That's weird.
But I was like, to know that I really was feeling you, and I really was. And now I'm just like,
you're like,
bruh.
I don't know, bruh. Yeah, relationships, man. If you're in a relationship, though, I will say congratulations if you are young married. I ain't gonna talk about the marriage stuff. Well, that's another episode. And I try to be careful about that stuff because, you know, my sister is now married and she's young as well. So I try not to, you know, be a party pooper on that one because she's an avid listener. But if you're in a relationship, here's what I say. You got a boyfriend? Okay, sure you do. As a joke, right? Because, I mean, people do look and wonder to see what's green on the other side. I also do say, bro code, don't take nobody else's girl, fellas. You know, like, just let her.
Even with taking, like, you know somebody's in a relationship.
Wrong. Yeah, that's...
You shouldn't even be trying to initiate certain conversations with people.
I don't think that's right. But if you're not in a relationship, gang, y'all in it. We good.
Yeah, speaking of games, we got one more thing. What happened? What happened?
What you hit?
I don't know, Chad.
You hitting something?
What had happened
was...
Oh,
it wasn't nothing on that button.
Yes.
I was wrong. Speaking of games, we got one last thing to tell you now. Y'all better be happy that this particular episode went over an hour because we need to give y'all a lot of stuff because, like I said, we going on vacation to enjoy ourselves. But speaking of games, look what he got. The Nintendo Switch 2. Like...
Now, Nintendo, if you want to sponsor us, please.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch 2.
We like to play games.
So I brought it into the studio, and E was like, "Oh, you got the new Nintendo?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." So,
like, I saw online people waiting outside to get them and everything. Like, did you have to wait in line?
Oh,
okay.
Absolutely not.
Oh, he said, "You peasants."
No. People do that, and I am good to not do that because I am 29 years old, and I like to sleep, and I got things to do. Shout out to, I know we boycotting it, but shout out to Walmart because they came in clutch. Right, so I ordered through Walmart. You had to think about that one. Walmart had the pre-order because they were just easy to do online. Pre-order night was a couple of months back, so I was on Walmart, Best Buy, GameStop, and Target. I know about Target. I get it, guys. Target failed. GameStop failed. Best Buy, I was in the queue online queue for a while. Refreshed on Walmart. It was there. I put in my information. Boom, I got my pre-order, right? So I pre-ordered from Walmart. And launch day was a couple of days back, so June 5th. I'm waking up about 7:30, you know, launch day. I'm tired, but I'm like, oh, it's Nintendo Switch day. I looked on my phone. It said, hey, it's been delivered. I'm like, delivered where? It was outside my door, right? So I got it, brought it in. It was right on time, 7:30 in the morning. So I came to the studio, booted all these lights up in the cameras because I had to do unboxing video, right? Yeah. So they did this promotion where they delivered the console to people who pre-ordered plus a thing of Pringles and some soda. I ate the Pringles. Okay. I didn't drink the soda because I'm on a no soda kick right now. But the Pringles, it was sour cream and onion, so I couldn't say no to that. Okay. It was really good. But this console, let me tell you, this console is so good. I played it a whole heck of a lot with. Yeah, you can hold it.
I don't want to break it now.
Don't drop it. Yeah, it's a good console to have. So Mario Kart World is out. That's the game that we're playing currently, along with I've been playing Persona. I've been playing Echoes of Wisdom, the Zelda game.
The mirror too.
Yeah. Yakuza 0, director's cut. I've been playing on there. I'll give you the quick specs of it. Good screen, 4K, 1080p, up to 120. Let's see. Joy-Cons are bigger for my stubbly hands. The console works out really, really well for dock mode and handheld mode. I don't think I'm going to take it to Punta Cana because I'm going to Punta Cana. I'm going out the country. I'm a little scared to take that out the country right now. So it probably won't come with me on vacation. And plus, I want to turn things off on vacation anyway. Donkey Kong Bonanza comes out in July.
Oh, I just love Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong got a new game coming out.
I got so excited.
New game coming out. So the direct was today by the time of this recording. So the direct came out. Look at her. She's being all nice and cautious.
Baby.
Comes out in July. Donkey Kong Bonanza. Pre-order has been submitted because I'm getting the game. I'm a Donkey Kong guy too. So it's a new 3D Donkey Kong. But yeah, that was the ins and outs of the Switch. I did order the Pro controller too, so I did get a controller to go along with it. Like when you dock it, you can use an actual controller. I say to a lot of people, we notice the battery life. That's the only cranny.
That's real fast.
It burns really fast.
Okay.
Now, there was a hack that Nintendo put out that you had to reset the system so that way the battery percentage matched the actual system. But it does burn really quickly.
Hold on. Nintendo, why y'all got to put out like a shortcut to do all that? Why y'all could just fix that in the first place?
They could have. But, and that's a trick with every new system. If you pre-order a very brand new system, it's kind of we're like the guinea pigs. Like, they're going to make the OLED version. They're going to make a special edition with different colors on it eventually. But they got to test run this thing to see if it's tested in the stress test. So the battery does burn out quickly.
Well, it costs too much to be test running on.
Yeah. It's a risky investment, but by the grace of my movies doing really well.
If you blessed to
by
do
music, podcast.
If you blessed to do it.
Getting my money back from Battle of Atlanta, actually. You spend it now, you get it back later if you do another big job. So, like I say, if you guys want one, there might be a little hard to find nowadays because they're selling out. Surprisingly, they are selling out. But if you want one, go get you one. Mario Kart World gives you something to play for the summertime until Donkey Kong in July. And then Metroid in October, maybe. So, yeah. Well, that's what I've been doing.
That's all we got, y'all.
That's all we got.
On this episode of
What Had Happened Was.
And just to let y'all know, we'll be back next week. I'm going on vacation next week, so no podcast. That's why we doubling up. Hey.
With your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
And your boy, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Hey, that's mine.
What had happened was.
Yeah, what happened was.
Hey.
Woo-hoo.
Hey.
Be back not next week.
What had happened was.
The week after that.
Got excited.
Atlanta, live from K.L.P. Studios. Ever wonder what went down behind the scenes of our top stories?
Say what?
Then tune into What Had Happened Was, the only radio station that takes you straight to the source. From coast to coast, tune in now as we dive deep into the stories, the drama, and the moments that shape the culture with
The Swanky One, New K.L.P.
and
With your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
live, Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio stations, or wherever you get your podcasts from.